Well, good day, everyone. Today is Sunday, January the 25th, 2026. It's my little dog Roscoe here. He thinks he's always got to be in the middle of everything, so he'll probably be in this video. I'm going to do quite a bit rummaging around trying to get in my lap, is what he really wants. I know this is a little bit of a different setting than what you normally see me at. I'm not in front of a church or I'm not at a funeral home doing a funeral escort. Today I am going to talk about these lights I've got right here. I've done a couple of live broadcasts and talked about them very briefly. I've had them for a few days now. I've played with them. I know a little bit more about them. So what I want to do is talk about these lights because a lot of people were asking me about the lights I was getting, and I kind of just did it really fast when I was out working. A little bit of coverage that I talked about these lights. Um, they're really good lights, and they are different. These two right here are the ones that I bought the very first time, and then these are the ones that I really like a lot better than these, just for the fact that they are more brighter. They're still pretty much the same. The only difference is, and I'll let you get a close-up look at them here in a minute. These only have two lights in them, where these have six lights. And these actually, I turned them on. I turned all of them on because I was having some issues at first with these right here not lasting near as long as these did. These are remote control. You got a little remote with them, and they're wireless and rechargeable. And the reason I went with these and why I like these so much is because they are wireless. I don't have to hook them, run any kind of hard wire to a battery or anything like that. I just peel them off the bike, bring them in the house, recharge them, stick them back on, I'm ready to go. And what I've done is, instead of individually sticking them on the bike, they come with some little bitty Velcro strips that are individual. So instead of pulling off 24 lights, I can just pull off 6 strips. And I went and bought, Roscoe, get out of that, huh? You don't need to be in that. I went and bought some Velcro rolls at the auto parts store and just cut it to length and put 4 on each strip. And it worked out pretty good. Real easy to put on the bike. The biggest thing is just making sure the area that you're going to put them on is clean. I use alcohol to wipe it down with. That helps the Velcro strips stick a little bit better. You just don't want to use no rubbing alcohol on your windscreen or anything like that. It won't hurt your paint or nothing like that. Okay, now these lights, they have several different settings. You can put them on virtually about any kind of color you want. And I'll flip through and you can see. Alright, but me, I have to run purple lights or white lights doing funeral escorts. It's got a bunch of pre-settings on here. I'll go through that. And then I'll show you the setting that I really like. You can add different colors to it as you flash. See, I like that. See, it's got white and purple. Now, I can run purple and white. This is the setting that I use when I'm doing funeral escorts. I found out these lights right here have more of a battery life running at this setting. Again, these littler lights, they'll run. I know I turned them on yesterday and let them run for probably about 15 hours before they ever even ran out of batteries. So these last a lot longer than these. I've already said that. Now this is a setting, and I can't even look at it because it's so bright. This is a setting that I really liked. It's very, very bright, and the only problem with this setting is it runs the batteries down really quick on these lights right here. I think I was good to get over an hour of usage at them set like that. But again, at this setting, they work for a lot longer. You also have a bright. See, you can turn the intensity up on these. You can't really tell it on that setting. I'll put them on. Here you go. I'll tell you what. I'll just do it like this. I'll just turn them all on, and then I'll go at it. See how they got a little brighter. Now they're dimmer. So you can run these. These right here, they don't have that kind of setting, but these do. Okay. Again, these, especially if I'm running them really bright like that, they're not going to last more than a little over an hour, maybe two. Again, if I turn them on at a lower, they'll last a little bit longer. And again, I found out that, let me get to it. That setting right there is where I like it, and it'll last. These lights will last for a good 4 or 5 hours running them like that. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these off. I got lights in my eyes. I'm going to go to a different camera here, and I'm going to actually show you a little more close up of these lights, and let you really get a good idea of just what I've got going on. Alright, I think I got everything set here. And okay, first off, I'll show you these. I'll get up here really good and close. Now see these, you can see they've got, what is it, 3, 6, 8 lights in each individual, I'm going to call them a pod. They've got 8 lights in each individual pod. Now these smaller ones I was telling you about, see, they've only got 2 lights. Okay. Now, since I've shown you that, we'll go back to the other camera. More about these. Again, I put them on individual strips of Velcro that I cut, and I put 4 on each strip. Okay, the big reason I wanted to do this because several people were interested in these lights, and I did not want you to make a mistake and buy these versus these. The reason I would not suggest you to buy these because they only last for 2 to 4 hours. They're very short-lived. Again, because of all the lights they have inside the pods. Where these, I turned them on yesterday and let them run, and they ran for probably a good 15 hours, okay? I'll go over some of the light laws. There are laws against these lights, okay? If you're going to put these lights on your motorcycle and you've never ran these lights, the big thing to learn and know about are the colors you can run and the colors you can't run. I know for a fact you cannot run blue, yellow, uh, or red flashing lights. If you run a solid blue, red, yellow flashing light, you're going to get pulled over. What I've always done now, I started running lights on my bike, and I have the actual strip lighting that probably a lot of you have seen. That is a hard wire straight into your battery. In 2017, after I did a lot of research on underlighting and what was legal, what wasn't legal, I went ahead and decided to put some on my motorcycle in 2017. Me and Loretta was out 4th of July. We went to watch some fireworks downtown Little Rock. On my way home, coming through Sherwood, I got pulled over. I didn't just get pulled over, I got pulled over by like 4 Sherwood police officers and a Little Rock motorcycle cop. They pulled me over. Now, the pattern I was running my lights on, and what I would always do is I would rotate them. I would never put them on flashing. I would have them where they'd fade in and out. But still, with them rotating like that and fading in and out, the laws were new. Police were really, getting on people and pulling them over for having the underpinning lights, and I happened to be one on that night. Uh, they were wanting to tow my bike. The officer that pulled me over was a female. She didn't want to. She acted like she didn't want to write me a ticket after she had pulled me over and started figuring things out. She couldn't write me a ticket because I wasn't running solid lights. They were osculating. They were rotating different colors. It wasn't one solid color pattern. So she couldn't write me a ticket for that. And then they immediately went to, they're going to tow my bike. And I was going, why are you going to tow my bike? There's no reason for you to tow my bike. She said, well, your lights are still running. I'm not going to let you run off down the road with those lights running. And I had my little key remote in my pocket, and I hit the button and turned them off and said, they're not running, so why are you going to tow my bike? So technically, when all was said and done, they pissed me off, but they let me go. Anytime you're running these kind of lights, whether you're just running them for decoration and underpinning, you have a good chance of getting pulled over. Especially if you're running a solid red, blue, or yellow. You are going to get pulled over. And if they're flashing, you're really going to get pulled over. And pretty quick. The big thing, again, is longevity on these lights. These smaller ones will work better for you. If you're just wanting some underpin lighting to light up your bike, these are the ones to get. And again, not these bigger pods that I have with the 8 lights in it versus 2. Okay, the difference in between these lights are these are for auto underpinning. These are for aircraft, more like drones and stuff like that. So that's the difference, and that's why the brightness and the more lights in the pods. That's the difference in between these lights. Okay, everybody asked, where did you get them? Okay, you can get these lights at, I think it's Motor Glow. Now where I got them was from Light in a Box. But what you do is, these I got from eBay. Okay, these I got from Light in a Box. I went to eBay. I just typed in aircraft wireless remote, and these came up. You can go to eBay or Amazon, type in wireless remote auto, and you'll pull these up. You may even pull these up, but you'll pull these up. You'll see these. They're not hard to find. They are relatively cheap, considering. I think I paid. I forget. I paid way more for these than what I should have, because I saw them. After, I want to say I paid 40 for these two strips of 8 lights. You can get them cheaper on eBay and Amazon. I've seen them. You can get them down to like $20. Okay, the one thing I do want to say, charging these is not like what you think. Oh gosh, he's got to have 24 individual charging stations. No, you get charging charging plugs for these, and they come in fours. And that was kind of where I got the idea of setting them up on 4 strips like this, because you get, for one USB plug, you can charge up 4 of these. So technically, I just use what? 7. Actually, I've got one more strip somewhere. I'm not seeing it, because I got 8 strips. I'm only got 7 of them here, but I can charge all these lights on 8 charging ports. Okay, another thing that I like better about these lights than, say, these, to charge these, whoops, I got it upside down. Here you go. Charge these. There's a little spot in the back where you plug your C cable up into, and it's got some little rubber things to keep the water out that you stick in the charging holes, and there you got to get a toothpick or something to pull them out, which is kind of a pain in the ass. Versus these have the connected to the light, and it's a lot easier. And you just stick it in here, and then you can also just get it out with your thumb or fingernail, any fingernail, and they just pop right out. Where these, I have to use like a toothpick or something and stick them in here and wedge them out. So that's the only other difference I like in between these lights and these. It's just, I don't have to, keep up with the little rubber stoppers. So that's a lot better on that. And again, the big thing is just the difference in the number of lights each pod holds. Okay, something else that you should know about if you're going to put these on your motorcycle, uh, that would be why I would suggest these smaller lights versus these big lights. You are only allowed a 2-foot pattern from where say your frame or saddlebag. You can only extend out. Your glow pattern can only go 2 foot out from your bike. If it's more than 2 foot out, then you're in violation. I would suggest, if you are thinking about doing this, to look up the laws on them. That's what I did. I researched the laws before I finally started putting the LED strip lighting on any of my bikes. They are good attention getters. That's the one thing that I like about them when you're out riding at night. You do get a lot of attention. People can see you coming from miles and miles away, which is always a good thing. All right, anyway, other than that, any questions you have about these lights, what I've got going on, you can always just text me, message me, comment on the video here. Just any questions, I'll be glad to answer them for you. Again, I've been running these LED lights since 2017. I've talked to numbers of police officers about them. I studied the law on them before I even stuck them on. So I do know a little more than, say, probably a lot of other people out here. Um, One thing is, I don't like to get pulled over, so I wasn't going to put anything on my motorcycle until I knew I wasn't in jeopardy of getting pulled over. But with the attention comes more of a possibility you can get pulled over for some kind of violation because you're drawing attention to yourself. Now be aware of that. You are going to draw attention to yourself. The other good thing about these lights that I like, you can leave them running when you're parked, and they kind of put on a decent little show. Again, you can set up all different kinds of patterns on these and run them like that. Okay, so here in Arkansas, it was late Friday night. I'm sitting around the house. You can see I'm all bundled up, and there's a reason for that. We've got 3 inches of snow out here. Friday night, about 10, 11 o'clock, it just started spitting snow, and it steadily sleeted and snowed all the way in through Saturday. So I'm stuck at the house. I figured I'd do a good little review on these and clear up any kind of questions anybody had about what I got going on, okay? So y'all just stay bundled up. If you're here in Arkansas or even up in more of the New England states even, I really hear they got slammed with snow. Now I haven't seen any. I'm sure Midwestern states, they got probably hammered pretty good. So y'all just use this downtime to take care of anything you got to do around the house and enjoy. Me, myself, I'm going to look at it as a little bit of a vacation. I've been working pretty solid for the past 2 years and have not taken a vacation at all. So I'm going to use this time to clean up my house. I gave Roscoe here a bath and haircut yesterday. I may even end up taking that advice and give myself a haircut and take me a shower here after a while. But I'm cleaning up my house, catching up on my laundry, and doing all those kind of grand chores that I hate to do. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great day. Y'all stay safe, stay out of this weather. If you're gonna get out, even if you're gonna get out there and walk around, if you're an elderly person like I am, I can't believe I use that phrase about myself. But I am 64 years old, so I guess I am an elderly person. I myself, when I'm walking around out here in this ice and snow, I take baby steps. I don't want to fall down. So just be careful and make sure you got a good footing before you make them steps. All right, everybody, y'all enjoy yourself. I hope everything's going good your way. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.